Let's talk about overwhelm. A question that I often get from clients is, how do I advance in my career? How do I turn my dreams to reality without overwhelm? So that's what I want to address in today's podcast. So what I'd hope you'll get after listening to this is at least one, if not more than one, practical tool that you can start implementing right away in your life. What I also hope that you'll get is a way of shifting your mindset from a place of overwhelm, and I'm so overwhelmed, and it's not possible to create my dreams and advance in my career without overwhelm, to a place where you're at least curious, if not hopeful, or even more certain that the overwhelm is optional. Stay tuned. The overwhelm is optional. And many of you need to hear that right now. I'm not saying that to make you wrong. I'm not saying that to say that you're a terrible person if you're trying to advance in your career and you're feeling overwhelmed, that you're doing it wrong. Quite the opposite. Because if you're noticing that you're feeling overwhelmed, then you've moved one step closer to shifting that overwhelm to something that feels better, like flow, gratitude, peace, acceptance. These are all available to you. And for a lot of you, you have the belief that in order to advance in your career, in order to turn your career dreams, your life dreams into reality, overwhelm is just part of it. Gotta struggle, gotta sacrifice, gotta overwhelm. Because that's what you've been brought up to believe. That's what society has told you. And while certainly that's an option, I don't recommend it. What I'm saying is there's another way. There is a way to advance in your career as a technical leader. There is a way to turn your dreams into reality. And where every step of the way it feels fun and you feel in flow, you feel excited. Might there be a discomfort? Yeah, but it's not an overwhelm kind of discomfort, and it's certainly not overwhelming discomfort. It's the kind of discomfort that you feel when you reach the boundaries of your comfort zone and you know you're about to birth a new version of you. So yeah, you might feel some contractions. Contractions are normal during childbirth. And for those of you who are listening who have birthed a child, you might know what I'm talking about. Yeah, there's discomfort, pain even, but it's pain with a purpose. There is a child, there is a new life on the other side of this. And while you might feel that discomfort and pain even, you're grateful for it because it's part of the process. So you're not overwhelmed, you're not feeling even irritated by it. You're grateful for it. That's what the process of birthing a new life for you can feel like. Every single step of the way. So, in this episode, I want to talk a little bit more about what I mean so that you can really catch what I'm pitching. And then I also want to make sure that I give you at least one practical tool that you can start implementing today so that you can start shifting that overwhelm to something that feels better to you. So the thing about feeling overwhelmed is that it comes in so many different flavors. For a lot of you, you're like, if I were to ask, I just had a coaching call with someone yesterday, and I asked this person, would it be fair to say that you're feeling overwhelmed? Oh, yeah. All the time. That's a common response with people who work with me. Another common response is, yeah, I'm not sure, maybe. And so the thing is, it's all about how you define it. So there might be like the classical definition or the clinical definition, the psychologically appropriate, the scientific definition of overwhelm. You can look them up, the dictionary definition. You can look all those up if you want to, if it's helpful. But that's actually not what I'm wanting you to do here. Like, I'm not wanting you to get up all in your head about it. I want you to feel, do I feel like there's so much to do and not enough time? Do I feel exhausted? Even some of the time. Do I feel like I just don't have the energy to do the things that I want to do? I'm putting all of these under the very broad definition of overwhelm. So overwhelm can feel like not enough time. It can feel like not enough energy. It could feel like exhaustion. It could feel like, OMG, I can't even. It could feel like I need help, but I don't have time to get it. It can feel like this person keeps pressuring me to do this thing and I don't want to. Overwhelm can show up in all of these ways. So just check in. You have to meet yourself where you're at on this journey of turning your dreams to reality. If you do not, then you're never going to get where you want to go. It's like going to your GPS and saying, I want to go to Phoenix. And then nothing, right? Because the GPS needs to know where you're starting. So you need to know where you're starting. You need to get honest with yourself. The thing with working with technical leaders, the thing with working with other high achievers that I've noticed is that while many of us have times in our lives where we're absolutely honest about what we're feeling, what we also tend to do as high achievers is we minimize. Oh, it's not that bad. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit stressed, but it's fine. I'm fine. And it may show up like I'm fine, but beneath it, you're repressing, suppressing some negative, disempowering emotion. But it may just show up like casually, yeah, you know what, I'm fine, it's okay. And you may not even realize that underneath that is actually something that needs to get addressed, like overwhelm or exhaustion or stress, or some unexplored negative emotion, like anger, guilt, fear, sadness, disgust, worry, or some combination of any of those. So really get honest with yourself, and do not be afraid of your own emotions. The only thing to fear is fear itself. So don't be afraid of the fear. Don't get angry at the anger. Don't get worried about the worry. And so I get it. A lot of times it's easier said than done. I understand. And know that you have resources. There is help available so that you can finally give up the habit of getting worried about your worry, angry about your anger, or scared about your fear. There are resources available. There's us. If our message resonates, we can help with that. There's also many other coaches and therapists and professionals who can help with that. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. So really get honest with yourself. You're not going to be able to up-level your career. You're not going to be able to turn your dreams to reality if you do not get honest with where you are emotionally, with how you're being on a day-to-day basis. So That's an important first step for many of you. So there's practical tool number 1. Can you, even for a moment, be aware of the fear or the anger without letting it drive the bus? Can you, just for a moment, be aware of the anxiety without letting the anxiety control you? You're not trying to control the anxiety, you're simply being aware of it. Can you be next to it without being in it? If you were to imagine your disempowering emotions, anger, guilt, fear, sadness, disgust, worry, and they come in all different flavors, those are just a few examples. If you can imagine that as a storm that's surrounding you, can you be the eye of that storm? I'm aware that there are parts of me that feel angry right now. I'm aware that there are parts of me that are worried right now, that are uncertain right now, that feel disinterested, apathetic right now, that feel irritated, agitated, impatient right now. I can be aware of all of them without being in them. I'm the eye of the storm. And there are a number of tools to be able to do that, to increase your skill at being the eye of the storm, to be aware, mindfully aware of your thoughts, of your emotions, without letting them control you. It goes the same thing for thoughts. So for some of you, you're more connected to your thoughts than your emotions, and for some of you, it's the other way around. So I use the example with emotions, but you can use this eye of the storm analogy with thoughts as well. So for some of you, what you're more aware of are the raging waters of your thoughts, the raging winds of your thoughts. And I'm laughing because we all experience this. And of course, when we're not in the middle of it, we can laugh at it, or at least that's what I do, because I love to play with this in a way that's like, oh yes, I'm a human. Yes, all of those thoughts are part of my existence. And I love it. I love it. So you're the eye of the storm. The thoughts are, I'm not good enough. Nobody loves me. I can't do this. Why can't you help me with this? Why is everyone is making me responsible for all of those things? Why can't I get the thing faster? Why can't we move faster? Why can't we move slower? Why don't I have enough money in the bank account? Why does this person keep calling me? Oh, I'm so worried if this thing is going to work out. What if this thing doesn't work out? I need to have a plan A and a plan B and a plan C. I'm really upset. I'm really impatient. And I just don't know what to do anymore. OMG, I can't even. You can be aware of those thoughts. Be in the presence of them, but not being in them. You are the eye of the storm. You see them. They don't drive the bus. They are not the captain and commander of the starship of you. Your thoughts, your emotions are not the captain and commander of the starship of you. You are. What is you, depending on your spiritual, religious / beliefs around this, you are the divine within. You are God personified. You are life force. The real you, the leader, the superhero within you that is connected to the energy that creates worlds. That's you. And you have awareness for these other parts of you and what is surrounding you in the form of your own disempowering thoughts and emotions and other people's disempowering thoughts and emotions. I can be aware of them without letting them control me. And one of the best tools to raise your level of mindfulness, to raise your level of detachment from, yet awareness of those thoughts and emotions, is meditation. And to start, I highly recommend that you do guided meditations. Unguided meditations where you sit without any prompts is an advanced skill. I've seen it so many times. I've tried to meditate. Okay, so what have you tried? Well, I've tried to sit and just listen to my breath, and oh my God, it just made me more stressed out. Have you tried a guided meditation? Oh, well, no, that seems like cheating. Or no, I just hadn't thought about it. Use a guided meditation. There are tons of apps out there. Ones that I've tried and that clients have tried that they've really enjoyed include Headspace, Calm, and Waking Up. Those are just 3. This podcast is not sponsored by any of them. These are tools that I've used and tools that our clients have used that they find really useful. And I believe all of them have a free trial, like at least a free 1-week trial. And they're all relatively inexpensive and absolutely worth the money. Meditate for at least 5 minutes every day, preferably first thing in the morning. If you've not done that yet, set the strong intention to do so. I'm setting a strong intention to meditate with a guided meditation app for at least 5 minutes every morning before I look at my phone. Because add the why, and then it's going to be even more powerful, because my ability to regulate my emotions is so important right now, because I want to be able to connect even more powerfully with my family and my coworkers, because I am no longer willing to tolerate this overwhelm in my life, and I know that peace and love and gratitude is on the other side of it. Set a strong intention like that. Not just I'll try, or okay, I'll take a look at it. Like if this is something you really want, create the space, mentally, emotionally, physically, for it to actually happen. And do it for 7 days in a row. And if you skip a day, no problem. If you skip 2 days, no problem. And then just reconnect to that intention to do it. Stop beating yourself up for being imperfect. You're human. Of course you're imperfect. If you do skip 2 days, that's an opportunity. Is there something else that I can do to set myself up even more for success here? It's not wrong. You didn't fail. No, you're succeeding because you're doing it and you're noticing that you want to do it more. What can I do? What can I set up for myself? Can I put my phone in a place where it's easily accessible first thing in the morning so that the app is easily accessible? Do I have an old phone that I can use that only has the meditation app on there so I'm not distracted by the other stuff on my phone? Can I use another device, right? Do I have an iPad that I can use? Or even my computer, although that may be, if distraction is a problem, like, okay, I'm going to limit the distractions. Set yourself up for success. Meditate for at least 5 minutes every day. So this is the first step toward reducing overwhelm. Because whatever it is you want to feel instead, and that's something that I would also encourage you to define for yourself, is what do you want to feel instead? If you're feeling overwhelmed right now, what do you want to feel instead? No right or wrong answers. To give you some food for thought, answers that clients have often given when I've asked them this include things like quiet, peace, joy, gratitude, quiet stillness. I want to be in the quiet stillness. Not just when I'm meditating. I want that to be my default state of being. My husband, Rob's, one of his mantras that related to this is, I am the mountain. The storm will not move me. It's a great image for quiet stillness. The eye of the storm, also a great image for quiet stillness. What do you want to feel instead? You don't want to feel overwhelmed. That's great clarity. But if we stop there, we're not going to get what we want. We also have to focus on what we want if we want to get what we want. I know it sounds so simple, but so many of us do not do that. So define for yourself. You may even want to pause the video right now, pause the audio right now, and just write on a sticky note for yourself. Record a voice memo for yourself. I don't want to feel overwhelmed anymore. What I want to feel is at peace. What I want to feel is that peace and quiet and serenity that I know is always available within me. I want to feel the gratitude, the appreciation for everything that is happening to me. No, it's actually happening for me. I want to feel that certainty that no matter how much is on my to-do list, I got this. I want to feel a sense of ownership for the things that I have promised to do. Well, also, I want to stop beating myself up. So I want to practice self-love when I make a mistake. These are all the things that I want to feel. Meditation is your doorway to feeling all of those things. Because all of those things are naturally recurring within you. But sometimes we have to rise above the clouds so that we no longer see the storm. There's another metaphor for you. You see the storm because you've not risen quite high enough. Get lighter, let go of even more, let go of even more, let go of even more, and there's the sunny skies. They've been there all along. So one more tool that I want to give you for practicing. This is a practice. That's all it is. Just like yoga, for those of you who do yoga, this will resonate with you. And what I'm talking about, it's a practice. It's not a competition. It's not something to win. It's not something that you actually ever get right or wrong. It's not something that you're ever going to get graded on. It's not a class. It's not a course. This is not striving to some finish line. It's a practice that you have fun with and you play with. So besides meditation, another practice that you can add to your daily routine is breath work. Simply breathing and listening and feeling your breath, listening to and feeling your breath. You are in the quiet stillness while you're doing that. And one form of breathing that I find really regulating and comforting in my nervous system is like, oh, thank you. I didn't realize how activated I was. Like activated in a bad way. I didn't realize that I could actually let go a little bit. This form of breathing that can help you accomplish this, I like to call it exhale-focused breathing. Many of you might be familiar with it. If you've already played with it, this is an invitation to play with it more. If you've not, it takes 10 seconds. And essentially, it's breathing where we're focusing on the exhale. In other words, the exhale is longer than the inhale, about twice as long. So you could play with it. It's going to be, what feels the best is going to be different for different people, just because of a lot of things that I'm not an expert in, but like lung capacity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But essentially, for a lot of people, what I find is a 3-6 or a 4-8. So in other words, you inhale for 3, exhale for 6, or inhale for 4 and exhale for 8. And the way that it feels, what you're going to do is you're going to inhale through your nose, and then you're going to exhale through your mouth, through pursed lips, as if you're blowing through a straw. So I invite you to do it with me right now. Inhale, then exhale. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale. And you want to exhale until your lungs are completely empty. Let's try it once more. Inhale. Exhale. And something that's really fun to do to get feedback on it is to find your pulse, either under your thumb. So it's in, if you're watching on video, you could see. So it's going to be in that spot on your wrist under your thumb. You could take two fingers, like your forefinger and your middle finger. You could find your pulse there, or you can find your pulse in the crook of your neck. And then do it again. Do the breathing again. And it's highly contextual. It's not going to happen every single time. I'm in the middle of the podcast here, moving around a lot. So I actually didn't feel it as much that time. But there will be times when you do that and you're going to feel your pulse slow down. Slow down. You're slowing your body down by being in the quiet stillness. You're slowing your nervous system down. That's how we reduce overwhelm. It's not about trying to control everything around you. It's about how am I responding to what's happening around me. It has to start there. And then from there, you can stack on external strategies. So these would be internal strategies because you're focusing on you. Then you could focus on external strategies. That might be about making changes to your environment or the way that you approach your schedule, the way that you approach talking to other people. You can do that. But where most people start is, oh my God, you're overwhelmed. Let's take a look at your schedule. Okay, we got to change things around here and just go external. If you start there, you might get a little bit of change, but it's not going to be lasting change. Because internally, it's still going to be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. We have to get it from the, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, there's all the things to, I got this. And that's your normal state of being. It doesn't mean that you never feel overwhelmed. It doesn't mean that you never feel angry or irritated or scared. You absolutely allow yourself to feel all those things. I want you to feel all of those things. I also don't want you to live there. So shift where you're living. And meditation and breath work are two practical tools that take 10 minutes a day. And if you feel like you don't have time, you don't have energy, like, oh man, I don't want to do it, but I want to do it, then do it for 20 minutes every day. It's that important. And like I mentioned, there are resources out there if you need more help, including us at the People Stack. We are absolutely devoted to helping technical leaders build your dream careers without overwhelm, without sacrifice, without struggle. So if you want to find out if it would be a fit to work together, let's have a conversation. We're all about the conversations here at the People Stack. One-on-one relationships are really important to us. So if you want to find out if it would be a fit, you can book a call with us by going to thepeoplestack.com/call. book, thepeoplestack.com/BOOK. Be in the quiet stillness. Just give it a try. Set the intention, the strong intention, to be in the quiet stillness more often over the next week. And notice how you feel. Take care, everyone. Big hugs. Take care and take it easy.